Hello everyone, this is another video in this series restoring a BMW R75/5, a 1971 model. And I recently had my handlebar controls powder coated, and before I put them back on the bike I need to fix an electrical problem. This front brake switch is not working. It used to work intermittently. Sometimes it would work, most of the time it didn't. Now it's just stopped working completely. The front brake light switch is just activated by the front brake lever. When your brakes are not engaged, there's a plunger in there that basically is depressed, and it doesn't allow continuity through the switch. This is just a simple mechanical continuity switch. It's not a hydraulic switch like on the hydraulic front brakes on, I think, the /6 and I know the /7 used hydraulic front brakes. So on those newer bikes, this is a hydraulic switch. The older bikes like this /5, it's just a simple mechanical switch. So when the front brakes are not depressed, this plunger is pushed in. When you pull the front brake, it releases the plunger, and then it allows continuity through the switch. It's a pretty simple switch. And there it is. Again, that's when it's on the bike, the springs from the front drum brakes basically keep that depressed, and you should get no continuity through the switch. When you depress the brakes, it releases that plunger, and it's just, you should get continuity through the switch. Okay, I'm just going to test this switch with my meter. On the ohm setting on the meter, that's how you check a circuit for continuity. And you can see, let's just touch the leads together. Cycles to 0, showing voltages coming out the positive and going into the negative, so you've got a completed circuit. And technically this switch should have continuity through it right now, because the plunger is out and the contacts in here are connected. So you should get continuity through it. And no, it's not working. I'm pretty sure I know what's going on here. This is the original switch that came on the bike, so it's 1971 bike model. It's a 48, 49-year-old switch. And it's just, these switches are not user serviceable. You can see it's crimped on one end, and it's just not made to be taken apart. You can tell what it's made out of. Looks like an aluminum housing with the, you can always check metals with a magnet to see if it's aluminum or steel. It's those bolts are steel, of course. The housing is only slightly magnetic, and of course that plunger is steel, so it's magnetic. The aluminum housing is slightly magnetic because I've never taken one of these apart, but it's easy to see basically how it's made. The slight magnetism on the housing is because there's a steel spring in there that's basically holding that plunger in the up position. There's a pin. So you can see how this thing is made. It's just you got a plunger, and you have have positive, negative, in, out, in, and that's the plunger. And you've got a spring in here. Forgive my poor drawing skills, but when that plunger is depressed like that, basically you get no continuity because these contacts on this disc are not connected to these terminals. When the spring, internal spring, is allowed to push the plate forward, it makes contact on these contacts, and then you're able to get power through the switch. So I'm pretty sure just over the years there's a lot of corrosion on these internal contacts, but there's really no way to get to these contacts by the way the switch is made. You can still buy these switches, but if you look the price up online, it's, you know, that's my last resort there. I want to try and fix this. So I'm going to try and clean this switch out. I've tried just letting it sit in a bowl of solvent overnight, and that actually did help slightly. It worked for a few days after that, but then it started not working again. And I found if I just, you know, force it up and down several times, it'll work for a little while and then stop. There's just a lot of dirt in there. It needs cleaned out. So before I buy a new switch, I'm just going to try something. I'm not sure if it's going to work. I'm going to try drilling little holes on the top and bottom of this switch, and I'm using my ultrasonic cleaner to try and get the cleaner inside this thing and clean the contacts off and see if that does the job. I don't know if it'll work or not, but I'd like to try and avoid buying one of these, so I'm going to give it a shot. Okay. I'm going to try drilling a hole on the top here and on the bottom. Again, I've never taken one of these apart, but I'm hoping that the leads between the contacts on the disc here and here run straight along the sides to these terminals. I'm hoping the leads run this way and this way. So if I drill a hole on the very top here between the terminals and the very bottom, that'll allow my cleaning solution and an ultrasonic cleaner to get in there and do the job. And I'm hoping I don't hit the spring and damage the spring, or even get a lot of little aluminum pieces inside this thing. So I'm going to try and just drill slow, just till I get through, and then hope I don't, well, the thing's already not working, so I can't really make it worse. What am I doing here? This is YouTube, gotta be safe. Okay. And I'm gonna drill in the middle. I don't want to drill near the disc or the other side. I'm just gonna hit the middle. It looks like I'm pulling up plastic, so it looks like that plastic sleeve kind of goes all the way in. Well, I'll keep going. If anybody's taken one of these apart, please leave a comment, or, well, if it doesn't work, you won't see the video, so whatever. I'm gonna keep going. Okay, the plate, this plunger, I can actually, drilling right in the middle there, I can so the plate apparently goes almost halfway across there. But I'm through on that side. I'm going to go drill one on the other side just to make sure the solvent gets all the way inside there, so there's no air pockets. But on this side, I'm going to drill further towards the leads because I didn't realize that plate was that wide. So there's the other side. And it is a plastic sleeve that goes through there, because I was pulling up not only aluminum but also bits of this plastic sleeve part of the switch. Well, I didn't damage the spring. It still seems to function fine. Yeah, I think that's the ticket. Drill closer to the leads on the lead side. Anyway, I'm going to get the ultrasonic cleaner ready and be right back. Okay, here it is. 2 holes drilled, both sides of the switch. I'm using a zip tie to hold the plunger down so the solvent can get around all those contacts. A lot of stuff coming out of those holes. Yeah, a lot of stuff coming out of there, so hopefully it's doing the job. Okay, now I'm just gonna soak the switch in this mixture of vinegar and a little bit of salt. The vinegar and salt makes like an acid mixture that cleans any copper contacts inside the switch. The acid will actually also dissolve the copper if you leave it in too long, and even faster the acid will dissolve the aluminum housing. So I'm not leaving this in there too long, maybe 15 minutes at most. Okay, I'll let it sit in there a few minutes, and then I'll use a mixture of baking soda and water to neutralize any acid. Okay, switch soaked in that acid mixture for about 15-20 minutes, somewhere around there. Now if I know I need to neutralize all the acid completely using baking soda. If you don't neutralize it, that acid can stay in there and just keep eating away at the copper and especially the aluminum. So I'm going to leave this soaking in this baking soda mixture for much longer, maybe half hour. I mean, it's not going to hurt it, so you can leave it in there an hour or more. I think a half hour should be enough. All right, I'm going to neutralize that, and I'll be back in a few. Okay, it's been soaking in that baking soda mixture for about an hour. I'm just going to rinse this out. I'm going to blow out. Just going to blow it out with some air. Rinse it out with some water. And set this thing out in the sun for about a day. Just to get all the moisture out of it. And then I'll test it out. Okay, the switch is washed out in my ultrasonic cleaner. It's soaked in acid to clean the contacts, and it's soaked in baking soda to neutralize the acid. And then it's washed out and dried, so it's totally dried inside. So I can't possibly get this switch any cleaner unless I cut it open and destroy it to clean the contacts by hand mechanically, but it's pretty much all I can do to clean the switch out. So now for testing it, hopefully all this was worthwhile. Wow, that's... Of course, I bolted the leads in there, so I'm just going to... Okay. Yep, it's going... It's got continuity through it like it's supposed to. Push it in. Let out the plunger. That's what it's supposed to do. Push it in, open circuit, let it out, close circuit. So it seems this has done the trick. That's nice. I was worried I'd have to buy one of these. Great, this bike needs a new seat cover, so that's more money for the seat cover. Anyway, I'm going to put this back on the bike, put the controls back on the bike. I think I'll put a little oil down this plunger shaft, and maybe a little grease on the end where it contacts that. Hopefully all is well. If this thing stops working in the next few days, I'll update the video, but for now, it seems to be working fine. I think cleaning those contacts inside that switch did the job. So that's it. Thanks for watching.